That's right. It's the Friday Lions Fan Cave chat. I've got Rumble in the house and Bistrilla the Thrilla. Dan Leonard should be here shortly. Let's go to the
What
intro.
up, though?
Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Meat Cat Body by Jeremy Jones.
That's right. Well, Rumble, tell everybody about your channel real quick before we get started.
Hey, Smoking Jay. Thank you so much. I'm with the guy below me, Bistrilla. Nothing but the smoke. Always, man. We always try to bring content. Fresh channel. Looking to bring something memorable this season.
Fantastic. Bistrilla, go ahead and shout out yourself. Tell them about the nights you guys are going to be live and everything else.
So this show is going to be on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. We probably will be starting probably hit or miss in August, depending on. We're just going to show some training camp stuff. Then the real season is when we get into the nitty gritty, and we'll be breaking down teams. And now this show is also going to be all 32 NFL teams, so we can get everybody involved in it. We will be talking a lot of Lions, but we will all be talking the rest of the league too. So yeah, all NFL, baby, all NFL.
So kind of like my Wednesday night show where I talk a little bit about everything, not just Lions. I mean, I understand we're Lions fans, and it's always going to come back to that. But
Right.
It's more about educating fans. It's like a know thy enemy show.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
And we got RXJ and Ralph Williams in the chat. Ralph Williams is one of my Pittsburgh guy that comes in on Wednesday night. RXJ, we love that kid. He's good. He also knows baseball.
What's going on, Ralph? RXJ.
Breaking news.
No.
It looks like the Lions are signing the Michigan Panther kicking phenom Jake Bates. It's just more competition. That's all I got to say. We'll leave it at that. I know how Bistrilla feels, but anybody that practices from 70 yards out, kicking next to the bench from the opposite side of the 50 and makes 3 out of 5 every time he does it, I'm kind of good with that.
Yeah, I like
as long as kicking, man. As long as kicking in the stadium.
Yeah, I like the competition. I think this team is going to be built on that, man. So if Badgley, if he gets beat out, so be it, man. I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
It was a small contract. There ain't much dead cap to it, so it doesn't matter if we keep him or not.
Yeah. I don't think Badger's going to be here at the start of the season. I just
Yeah,
don't think the competition. I think the other two kickers, even though they signed, it's just first of all with Bates, it's more like a fanfare thing.
hmm
But what I like about the Lions, it's not about that. You know, they've seen him live because he plays at Ford Field. Michigan Panthers play at Ford Field. So they've seen him live. So that's probably reason why they brought him in here because they've seen. But really, the reality is you got to be kicking outdoors too. And being a 77, what is he, 67% kicker on outdoors, Bates?
67% outdoors,
Mhm.
100% indoors. But here's the good thing: we only play 3 outdoor games this year.
Yeah. But those are 3 games that we need to win. We got Green Bay, Chicago, and San Francisco. Those are 3 important games. We got to have,
And I see
we
our
might
question.
not have to win them at the point. We might have to beat San Francisco by that time. Maybe we'll capture the number 1 seed at that time, so we don't have to worry about San Francisco too much. But we definitely got to beat our division foes. So
But
those are important games.
yep. And if you also look at the NFC West, they may get beat up a bit. All those
Mhm.
teams, roster wise, improved as well. So there might be more competition. It's why I said it. And when I'm thinking about San Francisco, I don't think they're getting 13 wins again because I think it's going to be tougher in their division.
I think they're another team that's developing a lot of turmoil around their players because Debo needs a contract. They got um, Ayuk with the contract thing. There's a lot of contracts that aren't being satisfied yet. So people are going to be kind of frustrated. So I just don't think San Francisco is as good as people think San Francisco is. They just keep saying, "Oh, they're improving," and no, they're not. You got CMC, but who you got after him? Nobody. I mean, and you got frustrated receivers. Their best weapon, basically, I believe, is Kittle, and I'm not a big Kittle fan, but he knows how to block it, and he's a good tight end. He's solid. Their offensive line isn't the greatest. Their defense is shatty at that. They did get a new defensive coordinator, but I don't know how that's going to play. That's new defensive coordinator. They got to learn new defense now. So
So I understand it's one season, but do you rank Sam Laporta behind TJ Droppinson?
Do I rank him behind him?
Yeah,
No, no, he's
because
light
I
no,
years
saw
ahead
a
of him.
report by PFF that
No,
came out this year, and they listed TJ Hawkinson ahead of Sam Laporta. I said, what crackhead at PFF bumped their head?
yeah, the
well,
disrespect is
PFF,
real, man.
yeah, PFF gets some things straight and some things messed up. PFF is like they do generally get some stats right, but sometimes I think they have people out there that are they're just doing stuff to be doing stuff. They don't base it because they're from PFF. Everybody, oh yeah, well it's going based on stats. No, just like the Kirby thing.
They're either not fans of the game or they're
And
hell of mathematicians, and they
I
just
want to give I want to give a shout out to Megan. She is an
she's trolling.
Australian Seahawks fan, and she comes in almost every time I'm live. And Megan, clear your schedule because 9 p.m. Eastern next Wednesday, we are talking about the NFC West, and I would love to have you on the show.
Oh, that's awesome.
I want you to rep your Seahawks, get your gear on, put that pretty face on the camera.
That's all right, Megan. You're going to be sad that day. I'm just going to let you know that right now because it ain't going to be a third time in a row. Seattle's going to come here and win. Sorry, ain't happening. Ain't
I
happening.
think it's too early in the season with the changeover they had in the coaching for everything to be gelling that bad.
Yeah.
Yes, Megan,
That's
I
awesome.
will do that. I got your email. I will take care of it. It will be sent on time, just like I always do. I always send them
All
out about
right,
a half
Megan.
hour to 15 minutes before the show because it's nice to get settled and actually be here.
Oi, oi, oi.
Hey,
You're not sad now, but I'm just saying.
you might be sad after the game, is
You
what he
might be sad after that game. Yeah.
No, I think TJ is. Uh, I think we got the right Iowa tight end. Um,
said. So do I.
I don't think. I don't know how he wasn't starting ahead of Hawk. You know what I mean? If I'm being honest, because this guy blocks. This guy knows how to run deceptive routes. Obviously, he can catch. This is all in his rookie year. So this year, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can bring. What new wrinkle is he going to bring this year?
What new wrinkle is Ben Johnson going to use him with? That's the thing.
Right?
Remember, we were when block right would come in and it would look like a running play, and we'd run a play action because block right would be blocking. Sam Laporta would move and transition himself to a slot receiver at times and take himself right off the line. But yet he would still block downfield because every now and then the read would be hand the ball off.
Right. And then you got to think about it. He's athletic enough. We've seen Ben Johnson pull guards and pull certain guys, and I mean, it's going to be fun this year, man. I can't wait to see what he does, man. He's been blessed with the draft picks that we've had on the offensive side of the ball, and now we have a full year with Jamo, who's confident, who's, from what I've been hearing, is looking good in training or in the OTAs. So I'm looking forward to seeing what both him and Laporta can bring.
Amen. And don't forget, when you're watching, go ahead and hit that like button. The thumbs up is down there just to the left of Bistrilla. Don't forget to subscribe. Share this with all your fans. I don't care what team they're a fan of, because I am willing to talk football with any fan base. I love it. I don't have to trash talk all the time unless you're a Packer fan. Then it's fun. Because all I know is since Dan Campbell's been here, he's 4-2 versus Matt LaFleur.
That's not a fluke.
JB, I am taking my like away from you now.
Oh, man.
Oh, come on. We're having fun. I don't do a lot of trash talk. Often.
Well, yeah, you gotta say we're Lions fans, so we don't have much room to be talking trash a lot of times either.
We're finally...
We do now. So
yeah, we got some consistency. And
yeah.
there is a lot of the fair weather fans that you never saw before, and all of a sudden they're in every chat everywhere, and they're puffing their chests harder. I've seen a couple podcasters make some pretty bold statements about the stats that Jamo's going to have, and I said, until I see the rapport with Goff and that type of targeting happen, I can't say that. I still say anything above 45 receptions, 700 yards, and 5+ touchdowns for a full regular season. Oh, she wants to leave now.
I think to your point, I think it's going to be a much more balance. I think we're going to get some balanced Goff this year, some balanced Ben Johnson to keep defenses, on their toes. Because we know last year they leaned heavily on Laporta and St. Brown when they absolutely needed a play. And to those guys' credits, I would throw to them too, man. Those two were special. But I think more so now, with Jamo getting one of the more notable plays against that San Fran defense, where it's an end around and broke a tackle, and it was like, oh man. So I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Cousin, he asked about cousin Jay, who's a Bears fan that frequented the chat trying to talk trash. And I told him, I said, Ben Johnson's third quarter has to be better this year. So does Aaron Glenn.
Yeah.
This defense is the no excuse for Aaron Glenn defense with the talent that's on the roster.
Oh, my
Even
goodness.
on accident, we finally got what we wanted from Hard Knocks 2 years ago. Dan Campbell said there'd be no turds on this roster. Benito Jones and Will Harris lasted 2 more seasons after those words were uttered, and they're gone. And welcome to the show. It is my favorite Seahawks fan.
What's up, Megan?
Megan.
Hey, guys.
Megan.
Please excuse the voice. I've gone back down with bronchitis, and I'm this
Oh.
rough with pneumonia, so please excuse the voice. But,
I
yeah.
can-
Well, you're
I
a
can
trooper, though, being on here with that. Oh, wow.
Oh, no, yeah. So I've got to give you guys crap because you do know, JB, that I've clipped what you said about the Lions beating the Seahawks thing.
Yeah,
And
go
when
ahead.
we absolutely pants you better believe I'm coming back to make fun.
Hey,
It's
I don't
absolutely.
care if it's a field goal or a touchdown or one damn point. If we win, I'm going to give you the same shit. How's that?
You best believe, brothers. I'm coming
Just,
back to give you.
Megan, just keep that clip. Just keep that clip handy, because
I
we will be
shall.
playing
I
it when
shall.
we win. And I'll be like, yeah, yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
sorry. When who wins? Sorry.
The Lions.
No, the Lions. No, not this year,
Actually,
buddy.
you poor bastards, and I love you all. Not. I love you like I love the Packers. To say not much.
Yeah, but
You
there's
get
no other
our bye.
players than the Packers.
We had the week 5 bye last year. Good luck with it. We've got week 10 before the road trip from
That's
hell.
what we
So,
had
You
last year.
guys had Pete Carroll too.
you, do
Not
not
this
take
year though.
do not take the name of the great man in vain. I
It's
will
not in vain. It's not in vain. We're
No, it's
saying
not
No,
in vain.
actually, someone, I think it was RXJ, said they love Mike McDonald. I
Yeah.
do too, but I have a very small problem with him. He looks like my dorky idiot brother.
the one that's a Cardinals fan, right?
The Cardinals fan, yeah. But I tell you what, I am
That's
so
our bad.
excited. I
They
am so excited for me. The Ravens are my second team for Daniel
Okay.
Falale, who was born and raised in Melbourne. And I am so excited to have a D line this year. I don't care what it does, how it goes. My expectation.
Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery. I'll leave it at that.
Hey, they did
I'm
good.
I'm supposed to,
Hey,
hang on, time out, JB. I'm supposed to care. If it's not wearing blue and green, brother, I do not care. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, he's just
fair
saying
enough.
that you have to look at that because the Lions also have the number 1 offensive line in the league too. So it's going to be very hard to come through there. So I'm just letting you know it's going to be hard to come through there.
RXJ. We could also say if CJGJ doesn't shove Kenneth Walker down K9 and tear his pec and take a 15-yard penalty, that's a touchdown off the board, and we won the game in regulation.
No,
Yeah,
I want to make you I want to make you fools work for it. So we're going to overtime. Sorry, not sorry.
No, you know what I'm saying though.
I will tell you I will tell you if Goff does not throw a pick 6 in this game, the Lions will win. Both the games that Seattle won, Goff threw a pick 6. Can't do that. Again, you can't do that against Seattle. You can't do that against Seattle.
Okay, let me ask you this though: what's the over and under on Goff throwing a pick six? Sorry, I'm taking the over because I'll guarantee it'll happen.
I don't think he's going to throw it. I think you guys are going to see Montgomery and Gibbs. I think we've seen enough of Gibbs. I think he gets more carries this year, and good luck catching that kid. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, fair, Rumble. Fair.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of dynamics that have changed for both sides, for Seattle and Detroit. So Detroit's got better defense. I don't even see this game going to 38. There's no way this time. The defense of both sides they're going to be too good. So that's going to stop right there.
I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think it'll be
on either side. I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
No, that's what I'm saying. Either side. I don't think it's a blowout. I think maybe 10. Maybe.
I'm going to defend that a little bit.
I think it might be a field goal if that happens.
If CJGJ didn't have that momentary lapse of retardation, we would have forced a punt.
I'm just trying to think.
That was third down. We stopped K9 4 yards behind the line.
I'm trying to think.
CJGJ was standing over him and showing out, doing that thing over him, and then shoved him back.
Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah.
RX, I think there's going to be more punts in this game. I don't think there's not going to be. Yeah, that was a killer too. We didn't make them punt once in the game. That's not good.
That was the game my Aussie punter didn't get a go on the field, wasn't it? Yeah, right. Michael Dixon has just gotten married. Oh, I knew Michael in Sydney. Sorry, I'm half asleep. I've just woken up, so I'm trying to remember the game, but yeah.
What time is it there, Megan?
It is 11:20 a.m. Saturday morning, Saturday the 15th of June. So yeah.
It's tomorrow over there already.
Yep,
I
we're
love
in the
that.
future, and I'm not giving you fools the lottery results.
Oh, man. That's my next question. Jeez.
No, you've dissed the Seahawks. You're dead to me. Well, JB is semi-deceased, not quite, but on life support. But you fools, no. No, I'm kidding.
That's all right.
Gee, thanks.
It's good though. It's great that you support. You support Seattle from Australia. I know there's a lot of Australia Lions fans. I know there's. I mean, a lot of NFL teams in Australia are supported by you guys. So.
I will give you a fun fact about my love of the Seahawks. Excuse me. They played their first game on the 1st of August, 1976, and I was born on the 1st of December, 1976. So I'm 4 months younger. And in 2026, I turned 50, and I'm going back to Seattle to celebrate the 50th anniversary.
Oh, that's cool. That'd be awesome. That's good.
Wow.
I like that.
NFL is actually surprisingly big down here. As I said, we've had Daniel Falale and Michael Dixon and so many others go. That in Melbourne, they are building an AFL, sorry, that's our game. NFL Academy is being built. I think pretty sure it was Melbourne. It could have been Sydney, but somewhere down here we are building an academy. It's
Sweet.
Very exciting. I know in my town, I live in a rural town of 16,000 people, and I often will wear the caps and the jerseys and whatnot. And people, without me saying or seeing Seattle or whatever, will know straight away what the jersey is. Sadly for me, I used to be a 49ers fan, came to my senses. Actually found one of my old 49ers jerseys in the back of the closet. Guess who's setting that alight? It's actually surprising because we have AFL, which is kind of where AFL and rugby.
Right.
But it's interesting how if you watch someone like Michael Dixon, how he kicks in NFL, it's actually very similar to how he was kicking in AFL. And I think that's why a lot of AFL players tried their luck over there. And some like Michael did so well. Daniel Falale, my boy from the Ravens, my other bird team, is phenomenal to watch. I love watching him, got his jersey as well. So, yeah, it's actually surprising. It'll never be as big as rugby here. I love rugby as well. But it's probably in the top 15 sports in this country, which is surprising. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
So I'm going to get to our topics now that we had a little...
Yeah, little smack talking. Little smack talking. Remember, I
restarted my heart since I was on life support.
listen. Don't get clever. I know where the plug is.
Hey, I got my own plug. Sorry. But Steele Chambers, and I'm going to say this because I actually put it in the topic, the best porn name in football, is now a Patriot because he was released from the Lions. He didn't even last 24 hours on the waiver wire. And that was a UDFA. I think it may be a mistake because I watched him coming out of Ohio State. He was a sure tackler. He was very good on special teams for him. No? You don't think it was a mistake?
He's from OSU. That's all I got to say.
What was that? Sorry, I missed what you said.
He's an Ohio State Buckeye. That's not a mistake.
Best thing you could do, flick him.
And he's a UDFA. I mean, really, he's a UDFA.
Ohio State.
But I liked what I saw out of the game film from him.
Don't mean he's going to transfer that to the field. A, B. He went to the Patriots. Patriots are 100.
One of the greatest linebacker was Chris Spielman, and he was from OSU.
Well, you're allowed
but he was actually drafted.
So. Yeah, we meant to pick him.
Yeah, we meant to pick him. He didn't come off the street.
JB, you're allowed one mistake in life. Listen, if he's from Ohio State, Michigan, UW, I love Seattle, but I hate the freaking Huskies. There's your 3 mistakes you're allowed to make. If he's not from USC, back there,
I'm on, right?
oh,
Yeah.
love that man.
Yep, he's awesome.
He is awesome. The Egyptian sun god, as I call him,
Yeah.
because that's Amon's name, is the
Oh, yeah.
Egyptian sun god.
The sun god, yeah.
So
If he's not from USC, I really don't care.
my
I
next
can't
pick
even
is a
last.
sore spot with a few fans.
Yep.
Sorry?
We're a team though that resides in the state of Michigan, which 2 of our teams that we have that some people side on are Michigan State and Michigan. So if they don't come from either one of them schools or one of the little smaller schools like Western, Central, or Eastern, yeah, anything outside of Michigan, Ohio State, you can kiss my behind. I can't say that. Ohio State just.
No, the only thing I hate about Michigan is the coach.
Kissing
you had a
behind would be a step up for him.
Well, he's not a coach there no more.
Yeah, he's in the NFL. Yeah,
Oh,
Harbaugh's.
no, that's right.
Yep.
But that's where my hate of Michigan came from, was the coach.
Well, anyways,
Anyway,
what if
sorry.
this is a year where we have the catastrophe health-wise, like back in 2021? Because if you remember right, we had 18 starters that couldn't play by 3/4 of the way through the season. But at the same time, Anthony Lynn is stripped of his play calling duties. AG must have bent over, grabbed his ears, and made a loud popping noise because the defense improved. And lo and behold, we were winning with 4th, 6th, and 7th rounders starting on the roster, if you guys remember right. And UDFAs came in and contributed. Do we have better depth to handle
Again, you're talking about a apocalyptic kind of situation. This is not apocalyptic. We have depth in just about every field right now, except I would have to say wide receiver and linebacker. Other than that, we have depth everywhere else. And RX, you're right. He didn't do nothing against Michigan. So this is what I count on Ohio State players. They don't do nothing against Michigan. I don't want to hear about it because that's like playing a pro team to me. Okay, so you're playing a team that's in your and it's a Michigan Ohio State rivalry. If you don't show out in that game, you're nothing. That's all I gotta say. Charles Woodson won a Heisman with that. Okay,
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm
he
with
won a Heisman playing those games.
I'm with B. Strilla. I think our depth, not only that, but I think our medical team. I think, I keep going back to them. I think they were a great hire. They seem like they know what the hell they're doing. They know how to diagnose injuries. They know how to get these players back out there. I mean, hell, we had CJ torn pectoral muscle, and he was back the same year. So I think next man up. I think there's enough juice in that locker room behind Dan Campbell and these veterans. I think next guy up, they're going to be ready. Everybody wants to see each other succeed. So there's no individuals that I'm aware of yet.
Operative words.
Yeah.
I was going to say yes. Yeah, it's the same in Seattle with new changes. I've not been this jacked for this team since our Super Bowl.
RXJ. I don't even know if I could give AG that much credit. You're talking about offense. That's something he don't do. That'd be the blind man blind.
No, I think we're going to have a very versatile defense. It's going to be disguises, and kudos to these guys, man.
We hope.
I have faith in this defense, man. I think 3 out of those 4 in our secondary.
I have hope in our players.
Yeah. No, I have a lot more. I don't see anybody on this secondary that's going to let a ball hit him in the face mask.
Well, and that's where Seattle will have the advantage in that game because Mike McDonald is a very good defensive coach, and he'll transfer that to the defense. That's the thing. That's the only thing. And really, their defenses, it's been kind of stripped down over the years because they've lost some players. I mean, they just got rid of Diggs and Jamal Adams. So I mean, and Diggs is not a sham player. Diggs is still a good
I
player.
was disappointed. I was disappointed we got rid of Diggs, but I can understand why we did at the same time. I don't think he was given enough. Well, I mean, how much is too much of a chance to succeed? I guess. I was sorry to see Diggs go. I wish him the best of luck.
So
Jamal touched me from 500 miles away, and I smashed. I shattered her into pieces. I liked him. I got his jersey. I have his Funko Pop. But it was like one more year, and then 2 more years. And it's like, nah, for that contract, no.
My only problem with Diggs is I thought Glover Quinn was a better safety than what Diggs ever was, because Diggs' only interceptions came when he was out of position and the ball was thrown bad.
Yeah.
They
I
were
mean-
horrible throws. So-
I'll concede that, JB. That's
Again, but
Quinn
see,
was, but better,
the point of the safety though is not to make interceptions. The point of the safety is to make tackles, to get up on the line, and recognize running plays. Diggs was very good at that.
Yes,
Glover
he was.
Quinn was more of a cover safety. He wasn't one of those guys that get up there and hit anybody. That was Diggs' job. That's what made them one of the best safety tandems in the league.
Yeah.
That's what helped. That's what made Seattle very good on their backside, because Diggs is up there. Safety's supposed to tackle. That's their job. Their job is not to go out there and intercept balls. That's a perk, but it's not their job. So you got to look at it on how that works. And Condre Diggs, he's just. I wish, I'm not happy that Seattle let him go, because I think Diggs had a little bit more in him to give.
right.
And with Jamal Adams gone, he probably would have shined a lot better too. Jamal Adams was barely playing half the time too. I never liked Jamal Adams. I never did.
I liked him for what he could have been.
Yeah, well, he
Not
could have
what
been that with the
knows.
Jets.
What he could have been, absolute. I'm sorry, Rumble. Are you playing the violin, the smallest violin, for when we smash by 50? Is this what this is, or are you telling me?
No,
Or are you telling me when
I'm just giving you
gonna
crap.
Remember, I clipped this, boys. I hold receipts, gentlemen.
I just want to make sure you're aware of it too, because that'll come up. And
one thing I will say
when we
is,
win, you're
I
gonna
did
be
this
like,
with us again. So if I dish it, I expect it back. That's
Megan, don't lose this clip conveniently. If they lose.
Oh,
I had to put it. The computer kind of erased it. I understand.
that reset on the tablet just erased everything. Oh, what a shame!
And I agree. I do believe we have the depth at a lot of the positions that we need.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
carry
you
the team
absolutely do.
for 3 to 5 games without an issue to win 3 out of those 5 games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
agree.
think, I don't think we're in that detriment. In as much as I hate to say it, who do you want back there as QB2? Do you want Nate Sudfeld or do you want Hendon Hooker?
Hendon.
Hendon Hooker's gonna be.
I wanted Hendon in
I
Seattle.
said that somebody said that. I heard Nate Sudfeld had a good day at OTAs today.
It's OTAs.
He must have been
He had a good
holding the
day at
football.
OTAs. Yay for him. Whatever. I look at OTAs and go, oh, that was good. No chance in hell it happens in regular season.
Right, exactly.
Regular season, no chance in hell. Good for him.
It's a participation trophy.
Somebody in Australia even knows about OTAs. That's the whole thing I'm talking about.
Listen, I have a full-time job now working from home, and on one side of the tablet screen, yes, it's my work. What do you think's on the other half of the screen? And what do you think I'm paying more attention to?
I like Megan. She is all right. I like Megan.
She's like us. If she works from home, football's on one TV.
Football's on one side and work is on the other.
I work for my migraine charity, and I said clearly come September, October, when we have our annual general meeting and I'm supposed to be writing an annual report, yeah, if it gets in the way of football, yeah, no, it's not going to happen. Sorry, someone else. I will delegate that to the team. Someone else can
It's
write
a
it.
charity.
Someone else's headache.
Right.
Listen, I've got 3,900 people working for me.
So-
I'm sure I can find someone else to do it. Yeah.
Wednesday,
James, you're hilarious.
after the OTAs had finished on Tuesday, on Wednesday we got to hear from all the coaches, and they gave their takes about who's the most improved so far and stuff like that. Antoine Randall said something very key about Jamo. He added 15 pounds and a lot of muscle to his frame. And he said you can see that there's a difference. He's not getting beat up at the line in press man coverage. He's able to push off and able to get the separation like we wanted him to on those short and intermediate routes. With hearing that, does that move your needle on your expectations, or are you still like me? I got to see it.
How's that working on speed, though? I mean, when you put on 15 pounds and put on some bulk, you do reduce your speed a little bit from that. And I know he's a fast guy anyway, but when you go from a 4.3 to or a 4.2 to a 4.3, that's some difference. I'm telling you.
Mhm.
So
Well,
if he puts on bulk, I want to see if he can still run that way. You know what I'm saying?
So
I want to.
go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Rumble. I want to see them run a 40 with that extra weight. I'm not
Right.
just as from what he was to what he is now. If there's a significant difference, get concerned.
Exactly.
I'm not saying there is. One thing I will say about OTAs for Seattle and training camp, it's all well and good that these new young players are doing so well in training camp and, OTAs and all of that. I'm not a huge fan of the preseason because I want to see how they go regular season.
Mm-hmm.
However, this year with who we took in the draft and where we took them, I just want to see them play full contact games. Now, and then if they go from preseason, like for example, I'll use Byron Murphy because he's the one I'm most excited to see. If he plays, say, one game, even 2 games preseason, and he does what he does, whatever that is, I'm eyeballing that thinking, right, now what's he going to do in regular season? And that's when I start paying attention. As I said, I literally split the screen, or I have 3 screens, and I'm watching and I'm liking what I see. And I'm hearing what Mike McDonald and the coaches are saying, but I'm not putting a lot of stock in it yet, if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. OTAs are OTAs. When you go to preseason games, they usually use that. I'm assuming what they're going to be doing this year. All teams is looking at their rookies, UFDA, unrestricted free agents, people they just signed. So DJ Reader will get some snaps. So will Amik Robertson. And Carlton Davis, they'll get snaps during the preseason because they got to find out who, what these everybody's bringing to the table. They got to make them gel into because everybody else knows what's going on, right? Everybody else knows what's going on.
And things as well, yeah. And I love training camp. As I said, in 26, I'm aiming to be in Seattle for the full training camp.
Nice.
But to me, that's all well and good, but it is training, as the name implies.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see full contact. I want to see pads. I want to see helmets, which you don't see. Sorry, JB.
No, you're okay. Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
For me, and I come from a game, rugby, where we don't have pads and helmets because guys were nearly getting decapitated because shoulder pads were being pulled over their heads. So that's what I want to see. It's not that I'm disinterested now. But it's like we had a conversation with the Hawks. How much faith and stock do you put in what you're seeing out of the rookies and the new guys in training camp?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that makes sense, but I love what I see.
Perfect.
But I want to see it for real, I guess. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I am. I'm really with you on that.
Everybody's still on the prove it train like me, right? With Jamo.
Me personally,
Yeah,
I think Jamo I think he benefited from putting the weight on because now you're looking at one of those guys who's going to be a deep threat. Who, to me personally, is going to be getting those contested catches. Who's going to be benefiting from that muscle. And honestly, nowadays the way they have these, these personal trainers and whatnot, these workouts, calisthenics, and putting on 15 pounds of muscle, I don't really see it affecting his speed much. I think if anything, it just opened the door for him to what you were saying, to push off the line and be more physical with these corners. So
Right.
I'm all right
Well,
with
that's
it.
what you hope. I mean, you got to understand too. Jamo's not a very tall receiver either.
Yeah.
What is he? 6 foot? Six
He's
foot?
6'1.5".
Maybe
6.5.
something 6 foot, something like that. Yeah.
Hey,
So he's not a
against a
tall
5'8",
receiver. We don't
against a
have any
5'8"
real tall
corner.
receivers except for Peoples
Yeah.
Jones and
And
Green.
Traquan.
Love him. Oh, you are
Those
so
are the two
lucky.
tallest receivers we got. So that's another thing. I want us to get a nice tall receiver.
I wouldn't mind
That
us
would probably
taking that Hakeem kid that won Offensive Player of the Year for the Battle Hawks coming out of the UFL. He's 6'5".
Oh,
He has
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Yeah,
Mind
I know who you mean. Yeah.
get a shot on the roster. I would definitely cut one of those bottom feeder O linemen that we know we're not going to see to have him on that 90-man.
Okay, can I ask a stupid question, though this may be? If you're
No
gonna
questions are stupid.
cut them as soon as they set foot in the door, why take them? Isn't that a waste of a spot?
Bodies. Well, it's bodies in camp. So
Yep.
you got to have bodies in camp.
Right.
There's a lot, they got a lot of leeway of how many people they can have in camp. I mean, it starts breaking down as training camp goes on and as the preseason game goes on. But you want to have bodies in camp. Doesn't necessarily. Hey, you never know. One of those guys you bring in there might catch the eye of another team, and they might get a shot with that team. So it's just bodies. That's all it is. It's bodies.
Well,
Because
They know this.
there's
how
53
many?
on the active roster.
Yeah,
There
I knew
is
that.
another total, what is it, 17 on the practice squad for a total
Give
of
or take.
7.
Yeah.
Right. Then you got the extra QB spot. So technically 71 is what you can
Right.
carry.
Right,
So
that's what I was
it's
going
a
to ask.
cut down of 19 guys after preseason's done.
Yeah, that's right.
Carry a
Oh, that's
90
what I
man
was
roster
forgetting
and they
about the cut.
don't do
Yeah,
that
yeah.
per game like they used to do. It used to be
Right.
you had your full complement after game 1, and then after game 2 you had to cut it down to 80 or 60, 75 or some crap like
Right,
that.
right. I was forgetting the cuts. Yeah,
A little
yeah.
more. They don't do
Mhm.
that anymore. They do the cuts all at once, and everybody gets put on waivers now. Everybody that doesn't make the 53 man plus your extra QB, so 54-man roster is what it actually is. So after you're 54, all those guys, that's 16 then on the practice squad. I think it is 70 total, including the extra QB. So it's 16 guys that get sent to the waivers, and the other guys just get cut. You'll hear it. They'll say, "This guy's cut. This guy's
Yes,
cut.
that's
This
cut
guy's
straight
cut."
out.
They're just straight out cut. They're not put on waivers. The waivers are the guys you kind of want to keep, and sometimes they'll
Right.
do. They get like 4 guys right away that they can protect that they don't want to lose. And
So
9
what's
times out of 10, that's those rookies that showed promise, but they weren't good enough to make the active roster, and that's who gets protected right
so
off
what's
the.
the June 1st designation?
Say
Because
what?
with the June 1st designations, because
The
we were
June
already
designations is for roster bonuses and stuff like that, and also
okay.
the cut line for people to get under the cap.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay. Yes, sorry.
That
Sorry for all the
changes.
questions.
That's
but,
why. That's
No,
why
you're good.
changes at June 1st too, because all the roster bonuses have been paid. That's already accrued and been put onto the salary cap. So then
right.
For this
there's
season.
less
Yep.
of a dead cap hit after June
Yeah.
1st for those cuts because some of that money's already been paid.
Right. Yeah. Sorry for the questions, JB. I've never understood that. Like, I understand what the salary cap is. We have it in rugby and other sports. Yeah, you've got to cut your team down and whatnot. Okay. Thanks
Oh,
for
You
that.
really got you do kind of be you gotta have to be kind of a financial genius sometimes with the NFL salary cap because they have so many intricate little things going on with that. It's
As we say in Seattle, the salary cap.
yeah,
Not that
Yeah, yeah, fine, whatever.
we're still under,
because
thankfully. But
you
I
get
mean,
teams that don't have any salary cap, but they still sign people. It's like, you
yeah,
don't have any money. How you signing people?
that's because
Well, we lowered this pay for this person, and we made this go 2 extra years on this current
a
contract.
lot of people kick the can down the road is what they do.
Boy, you got to. You know what? I tell you,
yeah.
besides the CEO of the team, the CFO of the team is probably the second most important person on that team because
Oh, yeah.
they have to go through all that financial stuff. They got to figure out how they can make stuff stretch, what players are going to cooperate with the stretch. You know, like for instance, we just paid Goff. Say next year we want to get another player and we need Goff to restructure his contract. They got to go out there and say, Goff, man, we want to get this extra player to help us, keep going and doing what we got to do. Can you do this? And they got to approve that. And then so is his agent. They got to go through so many hoops and ladders just to get that the money they need.
I always thought it'd be fun to be a GM of a sporting team. And I love John Schneider, except he's a stinking Packers fan. But again, you're allowed one mistake. He's from West. He's a cheesehead. We love you, John. I couldn't do it. I have my family has been in business for 100 years, and I vaguely know that business.
I would accept the job of GM of the Packers just to ruin one draft, and every pick I'd pick a kicker or punter.
JB,
and that's exactly why you wouldn't get the job, JB.
JB,
I see you coming.
Hey, JB, it's the quiet ones you got to always be careful of. Listen, can I help? Can I destroy the team from the inside out, please? No. I'll tell you the team I really want to destroy is the 49ers. So if you can get me in there, brother, I won't wear this, obviously, but...
Right. But any update?
Go look at these podcasts.
Finish camp strong. What I heard about Manu is
I'll be back in a sec, boys.
He's got a good bend. He's got good leverage. He did a lot of things good, but what he did wrong was a lot of the things that Logan Stenberg did wrong when he was at Kentucky his senior year. Even though he never gave up a sack, he did have, and that was 1,100 snaps. He did have 419 penalties in that season, Logan Stenberg did, which is the main reason why he never got a chance to start. In the Canadian college football, it's a little different than the American football, and they're not as hard on the holding. So he's still getting used to that aspect, transitioning into American football. And it might take him a year. And I'm quite sure Hank Fraley's going to work on him. He'll probably be sitting there like the main nun.
I mean, on top of that, they've already said Manu was going to be a project. So I don't know why everybody's so up in fisticuffs about the whole situation. Manu is going to be a project. They said he's going to be a project. It might take him 2 to 3 years to get to that project, get it done. So there you go. I mean, with like any rookie, and he's not unpolished. So you got he's got a good. Fraley is a good coach for that. So let Fraley do his magic.
There's things you're going to have to train into him, but there's some stuff you're not going to have to train into him. The guy is he's a house. His physical, exactly. His strength, man, come on. Like, so to beat Strilla's point, I see it. I see a season, but we have the old line. We have the coach. These guys are going to get his skills. He won't be so dull. He'll get the game in. Going against the defense, this D line, who knows? I like the fact that he's coachable, and they're going to probably have him do 2 or 3 spots on that O line, and that's what this team's all about, man. Versatility. So
right, and they're training him mostly behind Sewell.
Yep.
Skipper is still doing the backup behind Decker. Sorsdahl has been moving more outside to the tackle positions on either side. So what I'm thinking is going to end up happening is Manu's going to be either on the roster or he's going to be one of those protected guys week 1 because he was a 4th-round draft pick. They're not going to give up on him right away. So I think he's either going to be on the practice squad as a protected guy first week, or he's going to be at the back end of the offensive line depth in the 53. It really depends. I think Sorsdahl may get that job from what I've been hearing, because they say he's been developing well. He was a natural tackle in college, and they moved him to guard due to injury problems.
Right.
Okay, so for the non-Lions fan in the minority, who are you referring to, JB?
Colby Sorsdahl was a guy that we took. What was that? A 5th or 6th round pick, I think it was. We took him with in the previous season, and he was the one that would come in whenever one of our guards would get hurt and back them up. And he did better at left guard than he did at right guard, but Coyote Awasika was even better, so he became the backup left guard. And at right guard, he was serviceable. I'll leave it at that.
That's being polite.
That's
The
a
look on that
nice
face tells
word.
me that's your nice way of saying that,
He
JB.
was slightly better than warm dog water.
Warm
So,
dog
On a hot
water.
day.
hang on, time out.
Wow.
So,
On a
no
120
credit
degree day.
given. So no credit given to him whatsoever by the sound of that, JB.
I
I
don't
know
wet your whistle, but
He looked like a turnstile in a New York
Not warm
subway,
dog water.
and made our backup center look bad. Because think about this: those 6 games that Frank Ragnow was out, we lost 5 of them.
Oh yeah, you did too. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
because Swarsdahl and Glasgow was center and guard at the time.
Oh, ouch. Yeah.
And you're forgetting about the player that I think they got a steal at in the draft too, was Christian Mahogany.
Really? Have a look at James's comment there.
Rule is a great mentor, and Fraley is a damn good coach. Yes.
Yep.
And also the other guy that I wouldn't mind us taking, just because it would be more safety depth in training camp, because I think we're a little thin after Iffy and Brendan Joseph. If you look after them, the guys we have, you don't know if they'll even crack the roster or be on the practice squad, is the safety from Michigan, because he is one of Sewell's cousins. And he had a very good year. I think he was runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year.
Or talking about the UFL, we can get Nakua's brother, who's a safety for Michigan, and one defensive player. He was one of the defensive player of the year.
Sewell's cousin.
Nakua.
Yeah,
He's Puka Nakua's brother.
Right.
He's Puka Nakua's brother.
Kept me in fantasy football last year, boys. God, I love that guy. He's playing for the wrong team, but God, I love that guy. He kept me top 5.
Yeah, he's playing in your division, yeah.
Fantasy.
Having Gibbs Laporta and Amon Ross St. Brown won me a championship last year, so that made
I had Amon. I did 2 leagues, and I had Amon in one of them. And yes, top 5 with that boy. Taking him again. But
RX, I did like that little comment. I didn't. It's further down, but you did say something about Martinez challenging Sudfeld for that 3rd spot. Heck yeah, I definitely have that happen. Yeah. I'd have that happen in a heartbeat, because he's like Hendon Hooker. Really, he's just a lower budget Hendon Hooker. That's what he is to me.
How do you do that? I thought.
What's that?
How do you get him being a lower end or a lower grade, whatever?
Martinez Hendon Hooker is a good quarterback.
He's brilliant.
He's
brilliant. But he's
probably
good.
better than a good quarterback. But Martinez just won the championship. Well, they haven't even played the championship yet, have they?
Yeah, they played.
No, they got to play. No. But he's been like that. He's the MVP of the league right now. He's the MVP. Period. Okay. He is the MVP.
Yeah.
And he's Stallions really started taking off when they changed over from the old Carolina quarterback to making Martinez the full-time starter. And so Martinez took off with it. He's a very good. He's a very good quarterback in the UFL. So, I mean, challenging Sudfeld probably won't be a challenge, but I would definitely have him as a 3rd quarterback. That's for sure. I would be a whole lot comfortable with that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I didn't get to watch as much as the XFL or whatever the hell they're calling it, as much as I
UFL. Yep.
would have.
Oh, 'cause it was
UFL,
on
sorry.
Saturdays midday when you were sleeping.
Yep.
Yeah, Seattle didn't have a team, so I was not interested. That's
Right.
all I'm saying.
There's
But,
always next year because they're talking about adding more teams. So
right, they were talking about adding a few of the mid-level teams that were in the UFL and the XFL from last year, where the
Yeah.
stadiums are already there and the cities are set.
Oh,
That's
that sounds like Seattle. That sounds like Seattle.
Did they have a team last
Seattle
year?
had a UFL team.
They
Well, they did have a UFL team, or USFL team at one time.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And my favorite Seahawk of all time, Jim Zorn, was the coach for the first year for Seattle's XFL team, I think it was.
So they are talking about expansion. I think they said they kept 8 teams from the combined, so it was like the top 4 from both leagues.
Top 4 from
combined.
both.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're talking about, I think, adding either 4 or 6 more teams. So
Interesting.
That'll be cool.
That'll be interesting. Yeah, I watched the first few games and then was like, yeah, whatever. I don't have a team. So.
the first 2 games.
No. Like, when I say yeah, whatever, I'm like,
You got
I don't-
look at it like this, Megan. We had the Michigan Panthers. I mean, that's our team, and I only watched like maybe 5 games of their season. The last 2, I watched the last 2.
I had people telling me all about it, and it's like, yeah, Seattle's not there. I don't really. I mean, thanks for telling me and keeping me in the loop, but I really don't have a team.
Getting up against that disconnect time because it is on Roku. We only have an hour, so I have to give homage to a few sponsors before we sign off.
You
All
should.
right.
And of course, it's everybody's favorite, including Megan's. It's FTP, and since
Fuck the Packers.
that stands for
Screw
fornicate the Packers, because I have to say it cleanly on Roku.
Yeah, say it right. Use the nice words,
bad.
JB.
Forget
Use
the
nice
Packers.
words.
Or
Fudge the
Forget-
Packers.
No, JB, forget the Packers. Forget
Yeah,
the Packers.
I like fornicate.
Forget
It's
the
a little-
Packers. I
I
like
think
that.
those words.
I like forget the Packers.
But also, on to my paying sponsors, we have Gloss Negron, the best window tinner in Saginaw, located at 409 Hamilton Street. He won the award last year in 2023 and is up for the award again in 2024. 989-443-9240 to set your appointment. He can clean your whip up and make the windows nice and dark like this Maserati SUV or this 300.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, let me go get my Maserati out the garage.
Oh, let me get my BMW, boys. I'll
Hey,
send it
it's
over.
my 2008 Malibu, but it's not picture worthy. But anyway,
Is that, Jeremy, is that your conveyance out the front of Brandon's service?
that is the shop to the dead tires to the shredding trailer across the street. But anyways, this is Brandon's service, where my place of employment. It is located at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, right here in Flint, Michigan. We have used tires starting at $40 a piece. That's mounted, tax included, installed, out the door. If you need new tires, please call that number. We will order them, get them in within a day or two. 810-233-8230. Talk to George Red or myself. We will get you your quote. And if somebody's willing to let us work on a 1963 European edition silver Phantom in the Cadillac pearl paint, that's a $500,000 car.
JB.
On anybody's ride.
My dad had one of those that was the I can't think Nottingham, like the
Nottingham edition.
Yeah. My dad had one of those, and oh my god, my brother and I had to sell it because when we weren't interested, and it broke my heart to have to sell it. But it's in a car museum in Sydney, I think it is.
Oh,
yeah,
that's good.
It's in
There
a
you
good
go.
home.
It's in a good home.
Yeah.
You can still pay the attendance fee and go in and see it. And,
and go, there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
And you can walk up and say, hey, I sat in the seat.
Hey, my dad wanted to be buried in that car. Don't ask. Don't ask.
That's good. That's good he didn't, though.
You eliminate the smell of swamp ass.
And,
okay, you
yeah.
have to explain.
You know what I mean? You didn't let me give you my quote for your place of business there, JB. I said, Flint,
Ah,
where the water is bad, but the tires aren't.
Right. Where the players good. You got it. Memphis,
Wow.
thank you very much, everybody, for being on. Rumble, Megan, the Strilla, you guys are great. It's wonderful to seeing everybody in the chat. Try each day to be a better person than you were the day before. It's the only way to make